Folks, yesterday you should have finished up the exam review part 2 and submitted that. If for some reason you did not get that done, you do understand that we have the academic thing this morning. Those of you going down to the academic thing, head out of here at what time? 9:07. So if you're going to the academic thing, you'll head out at 9:07. If you're not, you can stay here. And if you want to use that time to get anything done, that is your time to use to get caught up on anything that you might have to work on for this class or any class. So for some reason, if you did not get part 2 finished, you can still get that finished and get that submitted. Those of you that are taking the exam, what do you expect when you walk in on exam day? Do you expect to get like a big exam packet where you're going to have hundreds of chemistry exams or questions to answer? No. There will not be hundreds of chemistry exam questions to answer. In fact, you do not need to study for the chemistry exam. I'm just telling you. You've already taken the chemistry exam, part 1 and part 2. That is the part of the exam. You've done the chemistry part of it. When you come in, it is more like getting a better understanding of what this subject is about, not what you know. You've already proven what you've known. You've been in here 36 weeks. You've struggled through this year of pandemic learning. You've endured, you've persevered. The work is over. So don't fear the chem exam. I have not lied to you yet. I'm not in the business of lying to you. I've had people rushing in with their exam exempt forms, panicking. I can't take the chem exam. There's no way I'll pass it. And I'm like, what do you mean? If you've done the review, you don't have any more chemistry to do after that point. When you shut the lid to your Chromebook for the last question on part 2, you're done with the chemistry part. I'm just telling you that up point. So don't panic about the exam. Do you have to still be here for it? Yes, there's chemistry to do that day. It just is not testing what you learned this year. We've already done that. Are there any questions on how this exam is going to go? Yes. I don't know if I understand what you mean. Like it's kind of like a teach day, like you're teaching us like new chem. We're just going to gain a little bit of history behind the subject of chemistry. It's not bad at all. Okay. You're just going to, it's entertaining day. You'll get to learn like, I don't want to talk about it right now, what you're doing too much. I just like to, at the end of the year, wind right back around to the beginning. So what we're doing on the exam takes us right back to where we started on day 1. That's what I want to do. And I feel like that's a good way to do it. It just kind of wraps it all back. We're not going to, you just sit back and be entertained. It's not going to be, and don't be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the greatest day of the year. No. We're taking it back to day 1, where we started the year, we're revisiting. That's all. You don't have to know anything to do this. You've already worked very hard for 36 weeks. The least you deserve this year is an easy ending to the year. It has not been fun to be a student. I don't think it's been a particularly fantastic year of getting to learn the way we would like to have taught, getting to do the things you would normally get to do in a science class. We haven't been able to do it. So the least we can do is say, look, you've done your job. Let's end it. So that's the exam. What happens if it turns out that you're sick on exam day or something? You can still do the exam. Just zoom in. Just zoom in that day. If you're not here on the day of the exam, zoom in if something happens. Like you don't have to panic or anything like that. Those of you that are at home and distance learning, you'll zoom in on that day. Zoom in during your normal exam periods. If you have any questions about your exam periods and when they are in your distance learning, be sure to email me. With that said, Make sure you've got part 1 and part 2 submitted.